Alright, so right into this recipe. As you can see, guys, I got a whole head of cauliflower here. I ran it through my food processor, and basically it just makes these tiny little chunks, and that's what you're looking for. You can hand grate it, run it through your processor or whatever, but that's what it looks like. It looks like little bits of confetti. Anyway, grate your cauliflower down, run it through your food processor. For one small pizza, you want 2 cups of the cauliflower, 1 cup of freshly grated Parmesan, and 1 egg. I am making 2 pizzas, so I've doubled my thing down. I'm going to be going 4 cups of cauliflower, 2 cups of the grated Parmesan, and 2 eggs. I'm going to get this mixed together and show you what it looks like. First, I'm going to go into the 2 eggs with my 2 cups of Parmesan, and I'm going to get that whisked together. Okay, so there you have it, the Parmesan and the 2 eggs mixed together. It's just to kind of cream that together. Now here's where the work comes in on the cauliflower. The cauliflower, after you grate it, you'll notice that you do that, it's really wet. So you got to get the moisture out of that cauliflower before you can form it in kind of crust, or else it's just going to fall apart on you. So a few different options for that. Some people boil it to cook it, and then they strain it, wring it out in a towel or something like that. That's a lot of work. You're basically looking to get the moisture off of this. Some people will do it in a microwave and wring it out with a towel. I'm not all into the wringing out with the towel thing. So what I do is I've got a skillet, dry skillet that I've put over medium heat, and I will just put that in there until it stops steaming, till the moisture comes off of it. You're not looking to cook it, you're not looking to brown it, you're just basically looking to steam that moisture off. Once that moisture is off, we'll add it into our Parmesan and egg mixture, bind it all together, and then form out some pizza crusts. But like I said, if you don't get the moisture out of it, it will not hold together, it will not keep its form. Alright, so once again, you guys can see I got my big 4-cup measurer here. So I'm going right into that skillet with the 4 cups of the cauliflower. Let me grab a spoon. Okay, I got my spoon. So I'm just going to keep this evened out. You can kind of hear the sizzle. If you notice it's starting to pick up any color at all, you just want to turn your heat down. Because like I said, you're not looking to brown this up. It's going to take on some color, but you're not looking to brown this up. You're just looking to steam it off. And here in a few minutes, after this is started to take a little heat, you'll notice the steam rising off of that, and I'll be back to show you that. Okay, so you can see that little bit of steam coming off the top of there. And what you're looking to do is just kind of keep this moving. Don't let it set. See how you keep moving and that steam just keeps coming? Cook it till you've just about got all that steam, so you don't see any steam rolling off that cauliflower anymore, and then let it set and cool. So as you guys can see, I still got just a tiny bit of steam coming off of that cauliflower. So it's just about where I want it. A couple more minutes here. I'm about 5 minutes in right now, and this should be done. Alright, so I got my cauliflower off the heat. Just the last little bit of steam coming over there, but I don't want to cook it anymore. Just started to pick up a little bit of color, and like I said, you don't want to cook it at this point. You want to be able to cook it in the crust. So I'm going to let that sit there and finish drying out and cool off in the pan. Let it get cool in the pan before you try to mix it with the egg and cheese, or you could end up cooking the egg too early. Alright, back again. So I got that over there drying out. So, pardon my dirty stove, sorry about that. I got my Parmesan and egg in here. I still have a bunch of leftover cauliflower, so I'll probably make another pizza the next day or two. Just bag that up, put it in the fridge or the freezer. So seasoning, do not put any salt in here. You got enough salt content in the Parmesan itself, but just for the general crust, I am going to go with some black pepper, and I have some chopped up garlic that I'm going to put in there. Now for your specific pizza, I'm making 2 pizzas today. One's going to be a buffalo chicken pizza. So once I've got these formed out in 2 different batches, for the buffalo chicken pizza, I will go in there with about a teaspoon of the Frank's Red Hot and mix up in that batch, so I'm carrying that flavor over in the pizza. And I'm also making, I'll cut these down and fry that up in little chunks, hot Italian sausage and some mushrooms. And in that particular crust, I'll do a little thyme and basil, oregano and stuff to make like an Italian flavor for that. So I will be doing a Frank's Red Hot sauce and chicken and mozzarella cheese on one pizza. We'll get into those at the end. And the other one will be the sausage, mushroom, and pizza sauce that I make with a little bit of spaghetti sauce, plain marinara, and some Italian seasonings and stuff like that. And I'll show you that too as we go along. Okay, so now my cauliflower is warm, cool to the touch. You can see I'm not picking up that extra moisture on my fingers. It's still going to be a little moist, but most of that water content is cooked out of there. So we're going to go ahead and get this added to the Parmesan. Alright, so I've got my two different batches separated here for my two different pizzas. I'm going to go in with about, I don't know, a tablespoon of the Frank's Red Hot for that one. Like I said, I started out with the base in both of these with the minced garlic and the black pepper. And I'm going to put some Italian seasonings in this one. So, and again for this one, this will be the Italian sausage and mushroom one. I put in just a little bit of dried rosemary, very little bit on the rosemary because I just want to pick up that Italian sausage flavor. Some dried thyme, basil, and oregano. And again, you already saw this, the buffalo. I'll get these mixed up and get these formed out. Alright, and there you have it, folks. So I've taken the contents of the first bowl of buffalo chicken. I balled it up real nice and then I pressed it out. You guys can see about how thin that is. This one serving of this, again, one serving is 2 cups cauliflower dried out, 1 cup Parmesan, fresh grated Parmesan cheese, and 1 egg. I doubled my batch and seasoning these up. These make about a 9-inch round pizza for that serving. If you want to go bigger, add a little bit more. Just do your math and multiply from there. If you want to make one big pizza, obviously I've got the nice big pizza pans in here. I could have done one large, but I want to do 2 small pizzas. I'm taking over to a family lunch today just so everybody can try that cauliflower pizza. So I'm going to get the other one pressed out, get these in the oven. Preheated oven, 400 degrees for about 20 minutes to cook these crusts. And oh yeah, this is, stop this video right now. If you don't have parchment paper, go to the store and go get parchment paper. These are an absolute wonderful thing to take off the parchment paper done. The cheese melts down, the cauliflower cooks together, the egg binds, and it comes off really nice. If you do it straight on the pan, even spritzing the pan down, it can be a pain and will ruin your crust. So if you don't have parchment paper, stop the video, go get parchment paper, come back, finish watching the video, and have a great cauliflower pizza. Let me get these baked off and I'll show you what they look like. Alright, just one more shot real quick. Here's the buffalo chicken crust. Here's the Italian crust going in. Important to note, again, preheated oven, 400 degrees. I went around the outside edges and I tamped up with my fingers to rise that outside edge a little bit. Because if it's too thin, you're going to end up burning that outside edge before that middle gets done. So just build your outside up just a little bit around the outside edges so that you get a nice even cook on that cauliflower crust. So now while I'm waiting for the pizza crust to cook, I decased a couple of those hot Italian sausages, broke down some like little mini meatball size, bite-sized chunks, and I'm just going to get those cooked off in the pan to prep for the sausage and mushroom pizza. Alright, 20 minutes later, and here you have it. These just popped out of the oven. As you can see, they've got some nice texture. The outsides are just starting to brown up a little bit. That's what you're looking for. Here's the Italian seasoning crust. Here's the buffalo chicken crust. These are going to set out and they're going to completely cool before I put the toppings on and put them back in the oven. Why, JB, do you let them completely cool? Because I want that cheese to finish melting. I want the egg and everything to finish binding everything together so that when I go to pull these off the parchment paper, they pull off really easy. And then once these are cooled, you'll see what I'm talking about. I'll be back then. Alright, welcome back, guys. Got my camera lady, my wife, behind the camera now, so I can actually do a little better here. You guys see I had the parchment paper down. These are out, completely cooled. I just want to show you this, how easy they come off the parchment paper. Browned up on the outside, but look, that's what I'm talking about. They hold a nice shape. That Parmesan cheese melts all that stuff together, and it's got a good form. This is going to hold up good for the pizza crust. This is the buffalo chicken one, and this is the Italian. This will be the sausage and meatball. And again, you can see it comes right off and holds together really nice. So give me just a second and I'm going to start putting these pizzas together. Alright, so I got my pizzas laid out. I went and put a spoonful of the Frank's Red Hot sauce on the crust. Just a little bit. I put a little bit on the chicken, stirred it up. I just pan fried my chicken off, then sliced it. And then I'm just going to top that off with some mozzarella cheese. You want to kind of you don't go super heavy on the cheese. Depends on how heavy you like it. You can always add a little bit more. But try to get it out towards Try to get your sauces and your toppings out towards the edge of the crust, so that way you got a good bite. And then I've got some more of that Frank's Red Hot. I'm just going to dress that pizza up a little bit. That'll cook up and make a nice dressing. That's going to go back in the oven at 400 for about 10 minutes. And then I've got this pizza sauce is just marinara sauce. I put some minced garlic, some rosemary, basil, onion powder in there. And now I'm just going to spoon that on the Italian crust. And again, you don't have to go super crazy or super heavy. You sauce it up however you like, but again, you want to try to get that sauce out towards the outside. Get a good covering on that cauliflower crust. Okay. And I'm going to go in with some mushrooms. These out a little bit, and then I've got a few pieces of that sausage from earlier. Go ahead and pile that on there. I don't know, there's just something about a sausage and mushroom pizza that I just really like. Well, what the heck, we'll pile it on there. I think it's held up enough where it's going to be good. A couple pieces to chew on for me. And then again, back in there with that mozzarella. Now again, the chicken's pre-cooked, everything else is pre-cooked. The mushrooms aren't going to take long to cook. So these are going to go back in a preheated oven, 400 degrees for about 10 minutes, just so that you're melting all that cheese and bringing everything together. Then you're finishing toasting off those crusts. I'm going to get these in the oven, and I'll come back at you when these are out. The cheese is all melted, show you what they look like, and it's going to be lunchtime. And there you have it. Cheese is melted down, sausage cooked through, mushrooms, and everything. And here we got the buffalo chicken. Sorry, causing a little bit of a shadow there. Getting these packed up, getting ready to take them over to the in-laws to have some lunch. We'll cut off when I get a chance. When I cut them over there, I'll show you what they look like.